Apple's new iOS release introduces the new stolen device protection tool. The SEC says its X account was taken over with a SIM swap attack. And Alphabet is cutting dozens of jobs at its X moonshot lab. It's Tuesday, January 23rd, and this is Engadget News. Apple has released iOS 17.3 and iPad OS 17.3 to users. This is a modest refresh, so don't go looking for anything too crazy. However, there is a new feature called Stolen Device Protection. This is not used to locate a stolen iPhone or iPad, but rather to keep the thieves from accessing your personal data. The feature first popped up in the developer beta of iOS 17.3, and it's actually pretty handy. If someone manages to steal your iPhone or iPad and you are updated to OS 17.3, you can lock them out of the system by forcing Face ID or Touch ID access. This works even if they have your passcode, so they won't be able to put in their own biometrics and lock you out. The software automatically mandates a 1-hour security delay before changing the passcode if the phone or tablet is recognized as being in an unfamiliar location. Stolen device protection won't stop thieves from doing their thing, but it will make things harder for them. The tool's available for both iPhones and iPads. The update also brings collaborative playlists to Apple Music, AirPlay hotel support, optimized crash detection, and new wallpapers to celebrate Black History Month. It's not the most robust update in the world, but it's only been like a month since iOS 17.2 was released. The Securities and Exchange Commission has provided more details about how its official X account was compromised earlier this month. In a statement, the regulator confirmed that it had been the victim of a SIM swapping attack and that its X account was not secured with multi-factor authentication at the time it was accessed. The hack of its X account, which was taken over in order to falsely claim that Bitcoin ETFs had been approved, has raised questions about SEC's security practices. Government-run social media accounts are typically required to have MFA enabled. The fact that one as high-profile and with potentially market-moving abilities like at SEC.gov would not be using the extra layer of security has already prompted questions from Congress. In its statement, the SEC said that it asked X's support staff to disable MFA last July following issues with its account access. Once access was reestablished, MFA remained disabled until staff re-enabled it after the account was compromised on January 9th. MFA currently is enabled for all SEC social media accounts that offer it. While the lack of multi-factor authentication likely made it much easier to take over the SEC's account, there are still numerous questions about the exploit, including how those responsible knew which phone was associated with the X account, how the unnamed telecom carrier fell for the scam, and, of course, who was behind it. The regulator said it's investigating those questions, along with the Department of Justice, FBI, Homeland Security, and its own Inspector General. Just days after Alphabet and Google CEO Sundar Pichai warned workers of more downsizing this year, the former is laying off dozens of employees, mainly support staff, at its X Moonshot lab. Alphabet is also restructuring X, which is not to be confused with the social media platform formerly known as Twitter. The restructuring will make it easier to spin out projects as independent startups with backing from outside investors. Alphabet confirmed these changes, which were first reported by Bloomberg, to Engadget. Alphabet's X is all about attempting to tackle major problems such as food waste, climate change, and connectivity through innovation. But it has not found a ton of success through its spin-off businesses as yet. Last year, former Alphabet Chief Financial Officer Ruth Porat became the company's president and chief investment officer and now oversees its X-Wing. As Bloomberg notes, there has been a greater onus on Alphabet to turn its ambitious ideas into profitable businesses over the last few years, while it's cutting costs across the board. Earlier this month, Google laid off hundreds of workers from various divisions, including the hardware, engineering, and ad sales teams, as it places more emphasis on artificial intelligence. A year ago, Google let go most workers from its Area 120 startup incubator. Thanks for listening. There's more to these stories and additional articles at Engadget.com. This episode featured journalism by Engadget contributors Lawrence Bonk, Carissa Bell, and Chris Holt, and was produced by Spoken Layer. Enjoy your day, and I'll be back tomorrow with more from Engadget.